Okay, we're recording and I'm going to let everyone in. Great. Good morning, everyone. We are going to get started here in a few minutes. We're just going to allow for everyone to connect. So we have quite a few people joining us today. So just hang tight and we will get started shortly. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are going to get started here in just a few minutes. Hang tight. Good morning, Sue. Sue, I just wanted to let you know, based off of our last call, I know we had talked about today in our latter part of the day is the second class that we were going to have be just color with the passion color masks. Unfortunately, we were not able to change that. So today's second series at 12 Pacific Standard Time will still be Hasty 2, and we will be scheduling the just color along with passion color mask later. I know we had talked about that in our last call, but I wanted to give you and your team that heads up. So our second half will still be Hasty 2. Hello, everyone that just joined us. Thank you so much. We will get started here shortly. We want to give everyone just a few more minutes to log on, and Chrissy and I will get started here in just a few minutes. Hi, Mario.
Oh, he's on mute.
All right. right, it is the top of the hour, so we're going to get started here in just one more minute. Just want to give everyone the time to jump on. And those of you that are on, just don't know that you're on mute. So if you have something to say, want to give a shout out, say hello, just take yourself off of mute. Down at the bottom of the screen, you should have a pop-up that will show you a little box that says chat. We encourage you to use the chat box to reach out and say hi or ask any questions that you may have down below. Also, if you would like, you can leave us your email address down below and we can send you any of the PDF versions of the brochures that we'll be talking about through Blondego, as well as utilities, boosters, any of the portfolios that Chrissy and I discussed today. We can send you that along with this recording. If you have any team members that unfortunately are not able to join us today, we can send you the video to this as well. Hello, everyone that just joined us. We are going to get started here. It is now 2 minutes after the hour, and so we will get started here. Welcome, everyone. This is truly exciting today. We are hosting our Zoom webinar of Blondego with myself, Steven Scorto, and my co-host, Christina Moore. Welcome, everyone, and thank you, everyone here in the United States that has joined us. So good morning, good afternoon, but also I'd like to say good evening because today we have quite a few international hairdressers that are joining us from around the world today. And so I'd like to give a shout out to those that have joined us from Italy, Holland, Russia, Canada, Lithuania, Croatia, Latvia, and of course the United Arab Emirates. So welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. We're truly excited to be sharing with each of you all things Blondego, and as well as telling the story of who we are as a brand at Alter Ego. So we are going to get started here. I'm going to share a screen, but before I get going here, I would like to just talk a little bit about Zoom and how it works if this is your first time joining. Down below, as I mentioned, there is a box that says chat. We encourage you to use that chat box to type in any questions that you may have as we go through the presentation. Also use that to give fellow team members or hairdressers a shout out. You are all on mute. We ask that you keep yourself on mute unless you have the question that you would like to ask or put into the chat box. As well as I had mentioned, please enter your email address down below and we will send you the PDF versions of all of the brochures within the portfolios that we are talking about today. All right. So let me get situated here. Okay. All right. Well, welcome to Blondego. My name is Steven Scorto. I'm the Director of Educational Training and Brand Development for Alter Ego Italy here in the United States. And my lovely co-host is Christina Moore, who is our Creative and Technical Director.
Hi, welcome everyone. Again, I go by Chrissy, so Christina or Chrissy is fine. So Chrissy Moore, Creative and Technical Director in the US. Just a little bit about my background. I've been licensed for about 25 years. I've been in education for 15, and I've been with Alter Ego for almost 5 years. So I want to welcome you guys all to Alter Ego. For those that I see some familiar faces and names, and everyone else, hello.
Thank you, Chrissy. And it's exciting because Chrissy and I get this opportunity to share with you our love and passion for Alter Ego Italy, and of course our experience in the industry as well. I've been in the industry. I'm celebrating my 20th anniversary as a hairdresser this month. And being in the industry, I've been an artist and educator for over the 15 years. And in the last 5, I stepped away from the chair and dedicated myself to education. So to be a part of an education team such as Alter Ego and Alter Ego Italy and Alter Ego Italy here in the US, it's really exciting for us to share with you basically, not to sound sterile, but the manufacturer instructions, but also to share with you tips and tricks that we have used and what we've learned at the Accademia in Italy, as well as some of the shows that we have done here in the United States. And then, of course, Chrissy's expertise in salon. She is a salon owner in Arizona. And so we'll be able to share with you a little bit of some tips and tricks with the nuances of the products that we're going to go over today in Blondego. So we just ask that you keep yourselves on mute and honor your time and space. We realize that Zoom is a new way for all of us to connect. It's a new platform for education. And so if you have to jump off, we completely understand. As I had mentioned, if you leave your email address in the chat box, I can send you the recording to this if you miss it, or if one of your team members have missed the class today. So, given the amount of time that Chrissy and I both have dedicated ourselves to the industry, that's quite a bit of experience. And we also honor the experience that each and every one of you bring to the table and being open-minded to Alter Ego Italy. So we ask that all the information and all the things that you think you know or that you do know, just set aside for a few minutes and be open-minded to hearing what we have to share with you. As I mentioned, not only in the manufacturer instructions, but the artist tips and tricks that we can share with you today. Please, please, please ask questions. If you are unsure what we may have covered, or you're using the product and you've been dying to ask a question, how to use, how to mix better, timing, processing, all the things that we get that go through our head, please ask. There are no dumb questions. The only way we're going to be able to help you is to hear that question. And then again, take yourself off of mute, ask the question, or you can type it into the chat box, and we will address the chat box after each section within the portfolios in the presentation. We just ask that as we're answering questions that we honor one conversation. So if one of our attendees has asked Chrissy a question and she's answering, please wait for that conversation to be answered, or the question to be answered before you take yourself off of mute, so that we don't get a lot of cross conversation going. And last but not least, let's have fun talking all things Blondego.
So our brand story. We're established in 1988. The history of Alter Ego Italy is a story of family, a passion, and a mission. An exquisitely Italian story made of the love for details, valuable raw materials, and high quality standards. A story of reliability with no compromises. Italian owned and operated, Alter Ego prides itself on high quality manufacturing and production that is 100% fulfilled in-house, where our commitment to developing the highest quality products is always at our forefront. As you can see here in the picture, we have a Toro in the center, Gianni on the right, and Federico on the left. These are father and sons. So again, you have a Toro, which has been our heart and soul of our brand and our company. He was a chemist. Unfortunately, we lost him a few months ago at really an age of what, Stevens, 94 years old, right around there. It's amazing. And so Gianni's here in the front. He's as well a chemist. And then you have Federico in the back, which does our sales and marketing. So just so you see who's behind our story of Alter Ego Italy. The meaning behind the name Alter Ego. There are 2 important meanings. In Latin, it's the other you, the best part of you, and something to aspire to. Another translation is a trusted friend, my best soulmate. So as you'll see in our marketing, it'll say Alter Ego Italy, the trusted friend of the salon professionals since 1988. So that's where the Alter Ego and Alter Ego Italy stems from.
Thank you, Chrissy. We're going to share a brand video with all of you now. Hope you enjoy.
When I am thinking of how to start the day on the right foot, she is with me. She is with me when I'm training my balance. In all the possible ways I know. When I grow my projects, giving them love and attention every day. She's with me when I treat myself to something good. In every way. In the words I use. In what I think. In what I learn. When I follow the music inside of me. Whatever that may be. Yes, sometimes we do want different things, but there is no right or wrong. There is no better side. And when we find a meeting point in Alter Ego, it's always an extraordinary moment. When we realize we are one.
All right, so I love what the message in this video has and who we are as a brand and describing us with beauty and kindness. And the beauty and kindness philosophy here at Alter Ego is based on the equilibrium between the yin side and the yang side of each woman, or the equilibrium between science and nature. And we believe that in every woman that there are two souls. One is the yin side of a woman where she sees herself in relation to everything else and has a collective view and a reflective nature, and her thoughts and emotions are that of sustainability with natural ingredients. On the yang side of a woman, it's a more energetic and fashionable part, and her thoughts and emotions are that of glamorous results and fashion-forward trends. And what beauty means to us here at Alter Ego Italy, there are 4 words that we feel best describe what that means to us, and that's personality, creativity, trends, and performing products. In the personality, we believe that the wide range of possibilities are there to ensure that every woman finds something of herself in them and enjoys the best part of herself. Creativity, we've created innovative and scientifically tested products that some are even patented, and to help our hairstylists, all of you, to pour your precious contribution, creative contribution into everything that you do. And then there's trends. There's 2 fashion collections per year. International trends always take the priority. We have the spring, summer, and autumn, winter collections. And with performing products, we believe in impeccable results while respecting not only the scalp, but also the hair. Because of a healthy scalp, you'll have healthy hair.
What kindness means to us. Being gentle with the scalp and hair. Our products are effective without being aggressive. Creating products that respect the environment. We seek technologies that reduce water consumption during rinsing, and we package them using recycled plastics and FSC certified paper. Using more natural and active ingredients. So we're up to 99% of natural origin ingredients. Kind to the planet and those who live in it. We're moving in a direction of increasingly more sustainable research, where our aspiration towards beauty becomes one with caring for the environment and the people. And our mission, build a trusted friendship with salon professionals through high-performing products, innovative tools, exceptional ongoing education to advance the development and success of salon professionals worldwide.
And our values, we do believe that there's a passion for quality, attention to detail, down to the last drop. And as I shared with you, the respect, the equilibrium between science and nature, celebrating excellence of Italian craftsmanship with 100% made in Italy and through tradition and innovation. And with education, Alter Ego Italy education programs offer a complete range of workshops designed to build a core foundation of knowledge and technical skills. And the In-Salon program brings directly to you custom-made classes that are adapted for each salon and the needs in which the portfolios they choose to purchase. And so the Alter Ego Italy team, the education team, is built on established industry leaders in coloring, cutting, and styling. We're super excited to announce that our new international creative direction team for Alter Ego Italy is the Gauguin team. So they're currently working on our autumn winter collection and very excited to see what they will be producing for us and sharing with all of us here internationally. Just to give you a little share here, here's some of the collections that Alter Ego Italy has had since 2017, starting with Mediterranean. We moved in from spring, summer into autumn, winter with Neverland. And in 2018, the story began. The story continued in autumn, winter of 2018, and the story ended in the spring, summer of 2019. In autumn, winter of 2019, we released the Diversity Collection. And as we moved into the beginning of the year of 2020, the spring, summer collection was Metamorphosis. So as we are phasing out of Metamorphosis into this new autumn, winter collection, I'm sure the Gogan team has something very exciting to share. So let's get started with Blondego. Today, Chrissy and I are going to cover two portfolios that are within the Blondego portfolio, which is Ultra Pure and Ultra Comfort.
So with Ultra Pure, we're going to talk about our pure toners, our pastel toners, our high lift pure diamond lift, and our pure highlight.
And then Ultra Comfort, we're going to talk about Pure Light Blue Powder, the Ultra 9 Lightener, Balayage Clay Lightener, Pure Light Cream, and the Total Blonde Activator.
So and what's great about our Blondego series is we have the active ingredients that you'll see across the board throughout the products. So some of the ingredients that we have is the Inca oil is one of them. They're the first one. It's a nourishing oil widely used for restructuring and anti-aging properties. It's considered to be the oil that's richest in antioxidizing essential fatty acids. It eliminates frizz and it leaves the hair soft and easy to manage. Then we have the Active Shine Complex, and that's a natural ingredient extracted from the Brazilian palms. It infuses outstanding shine and brilliance and carries out restructuring action and leaves the hair silky, soft, and easy to manage. Then we have the Hydra Hair 3RO2, and this is a natural complex of conditioning agents that are extracted from the Asian rice, soybean, and palm oil. Then we have the Diamond Shine technology, and this is advanced breakthrough formula that lifts and tones all in the same, that gives an extra boost of a lift and tone all in the same service. Selected active principles to deliver an effective treating action. So you have those extra conditioning agents that are in the Diamond Shine technology and ensuring amazing shine and beautiful results. So I want to point out before we move on, as you see when we start to go through, when you have your products, if you look closely, it'll list on there what is exactly in the product. So like with the Total Blonde Activator, you'll see it has the hyaluronic acid, the Active Shine Complex, and the Inca oil, which is eco-certified. So as you look through, same with the toners, it'll tell you what's in it, the Active Shine Complex. So you'll see across the board as you use the Blondego, which active ingredients are in each product. So with the Ultra Pure range, this is the toner and the super lighteners. The outstanding performance and excellent product reliability of the toners and the super lighteners provide endless color solutions. So we're going to go over those now. So the Pure Toner is a toner cream for natural blonde, bleached, lightened hair. It benefits is innovative toning action, neutralizes unwanted warm tone underlining tones. We also have a caramel toner in there that will help accentuate or balance tones as well. Then we have the pastel toners. This is creative toning with pastel effect for blonde, bleached, or lightened hair. The benefit allows you to customize blonde hair with creative effects and pastel shades. The Pure Diamond Lift is a high lift coloring cream. So this lifts up to 5 levels in just one application, and it gives you the toning value behind it. So it's achieving balance and brilliant color results. Now, as we get through and we talk about the Pure Diamond Lift, we'll talk about the difference between the high lift in the Technofruit and the My Color, just so you understand the difference. And with the Pure Highlight, it's a premium lifting hair colored cream. The benefits, it lifts cosmetically colored hair up to 3 levels and fully respects the hair structure. So the Pure Diamond Lift, so the benefits behind it is it lifts and tones up to 5 levels in just one application and ensures pure, balanced, and brilliant color results. It has 5 personalized nuances that have been calibrated to provide improved control of controlling the warm underlying pigments during your technical lifting service. Now, the difference between the My Color and the Technofruit High Lifts is those give you 4 levels of lift. So if you use a high lift and it's just not enough, or you have somebody that's a level 6 and you want to use the high lift on them, this would be the product that you would go to. So you would use this on level 6 and higher. You could even do a level 5. Again, that depends, I think, when you look at your client and you can see what the underlying pigment is, and you know for sure that they're a 5, you can get them to a 10, and then you would just choose your appropriate tone behind your high lift level here. So with the HL0, that's the natural. So that reaches maximum lift and translucent pure blonde effect. So that doesn't have a lot of toning behind it. That's just your high lift with more of like utilizing their natural underlining that's already into the hair. The HL1 is the ash. Now this lifts and neutralizes unwanted orange yellow tones for ash blonde effects. So again, our ash, our 1, is our blue base. So you're gonna have that softer blue that gives you just enough toning to make it that ashy blonde effect. Our HL2 is our iris, which is our violet. So this lifts and neutralizes light yellow tones to reach a beige iris blonde. So again, that having the violet, that's gonna help neutralize and tone out your light yellow tones. The HL91 is our pearl ash. So this lifts and neutralizes light yellow tones to reach a pearl blonde effect. Now having that little bit of that 1 behind there, you're gonna see that that gives you a little bit more, like if you want to have more of that pearlescent in there and toning effect, this is a great one to have that balance that you'll see through. And then HL7, and this is our beige. It lifts and neutralizes unwanted warm tones to reach sandy blonde effects. Steven, do you have the book there to show the swatches? If you guys take a look at the swatch in Steven's camera there, you can see the difference between the HL0 all the way across to the HL7. Perfect, thank you. So then we have so with the Pure Diamond Lift, the technical tips are after applying Pure Diamond Lift to the regrowth, do not apply the same color to the ends if they're already lightened or bleached. To tone, you would want to choose your appropriate toner from the Pure Toner or create your tonal value out of your Pure Toner and your pastel toners. Before you move on, do we want to check the chat box for the Pure Diamond Lift? Great.
So we have a question here, Chrissy, that says, or that asks, do you get even lift from root to scalp on natural hair, or should you use a higher developer on the mid-lengths and ends since the warmth of the scalp will create extra lift?
I find that with the Pure Diamond Lift, it's pretty balanced. You don't see as much of that. And I think that coming into, coming out of, COVID, which a lot of us have been in quarantine or haven't been in the salon, now that we're back into the salon, we find that having, instead of it just being the natural forest, or half an inch to an inch of regrowth, now we're looking at 3 inches. So what I find with the Pure Diamond Lift is it is very, very even. It lifts from the scalp. It might just be like a slight variation, but not enough that your eye's even gonna see it. I think if you just use your 30 volume, or we recommend 40 volume anyways, either way, so it's gonna lift throughout that. And again, doing double 40 gives you that extra boost. So I would say you could just go ahead and stick with the 40 volume. Now, if you have a client that's a level 7 and you wanna use these tones, you could use 30 volume. And this is just a technical tip outside of what we know for what our instructions say. So if you have a client that's a natural level 7 and say like I wanted to use the HL91, then you could use it with 30 volume because that's going to give you a 4-level lift. Okay, so again, you can use that transition, but just kind of keep an eye that we recommend 40 volume, and we do recommend a full 50-minute processing time, and we'll go over that in just a bit.
All right, we have another. Questions? Yeah, okay. There's 2 more I want to cover. So Danny asked, how much warmth do you anticipate seeing lifting from a 5 or 6 using HL1, lifting the 5 levels?
Okay, so I mean, I think that is going to be when you take a look at your client. So for example, my hair is, I pull a lot of warm, and we always say, we hear clients say that, but with my background, I know for my hair, if I use it for my level 5 hair, I'm going to see just a little bit left over. So using the 1, I might have to, I would actually probably bleach and then tone because of how much warmth I have in my underlying pigment. But again, my friend of mine who is she's not Hispanic, she doesn't have Native American, but she has that dark hair color, it will pull a little bit lighter. She won't have that residual warmth in there. So just pay attention to what your clients, their pigment is and to where they're at in their levels. So again, it comes to how they lift. Now, with that being said, if I have a client that comes in and she's a first-time client, never colored her hair before, and she's a level 4. Now, if I want to have a caramel color, I could use the Pure Diamond Lift on her to get her to like a true 8 color. And I know I'm not going to get to a maximum level 10, but I could still use this as a product and as a tool because it's going to lift me to a level 8 and it's going to do some of that deposit. So a lot of people don't think that you can use this with darker levels, But if you have somebody that doesn't have color on their hair, has never colored their hair before, and you want to give them some highlights through it, or even use it as an all over color, or even as a balayage technique, you could use this to lift that. So you're still going to get lift out of it. It's just going to be how much neutralization, even if you're asking. So if you do that and you see, okay, that's too much warmth, then you could just go over and do a quick toner on top of that, and that'll give you enough neutralization. And then you have control of how much you're putting in there.
Then also just to remember that when we went over Technofruit last week and sharing with you the underlying melanin, so to anticipate the warmth is understanding where your starting level is, you know, what your canvas is and what your goal is. So then that way you can calibrate and use the proper color that you're wanting to use based on the level and knowing the underlying melanin. So that's a great question. We have another one. Can you use, Emily asks, can you use on colored hair, or is this natural hair only?
This would be for natural hair only. I mean, if you use it on colored hair, you're going to see a slight shift, but you're not going to get that maximum lift that you want to see. And that actually you could do with your pure highlight, which we'll go over in just a little bit, but that would be where you would want to use that product. So this would be just for the natural color.
Okay, and one last question is, in the foil, do you recommend 2 formulas, or can I use 1 formula?
No, 1 formula should be good. Absolutely.
All right. Great questions, everyone. Let's move on to the next slide.
Okay, so this shows you here the natural underlying pigment from your level 4 all the way to your level 10. So this is just something to keep in mind. So if we're saying you can get 5 levels of lift out of here, if I'm going from 4 and I say 5, 6, 7, 8, between that 8, 8.5 to 9, my colors underneath there are yellow, and yellow, we'll say yellow, it's not a pale yellow, but it's a yellow. And then we'll say 8 is a gold. Okay, we're gonna put that back out there. So for that being said, what is your underlying pigment that you've exposed now? So now if I'm at an 8 or a 9 and I've exposed that gold, we need to remember gold is what? It's yellow and orange. So making sure that we have that balance of that, you know, that 9-1, or even you can mix these. You can do a HL1 and an HL2. So now I have a blue violet that's going to help neutralize the natural underlying pigment of when I lift to where I'm going. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, okay, great. Thanks for nodding, you guys. Helps me out. So that again is where if I'm going to be at a 6 and I'm going to a 10, if I have somebody that is really, really fair, then when they lift up to a 10, if I put too much of the blue, the HL1, I'm going to see that ashier blonde when they really want to be a warmer blonde. So just remember when you get to those levels, whatever your maximum lift at, or your desired level is where you need to tone for, okay? So with the mixing, so 1 to 2 mixing ratio. So 1 part of your pure diamond lift to 2 parts of your 40 volume. Now again, like I said, if you want this to be the maximum working, you need to use the 40 volume. Same with if you are using your, sorry, I had some crazy thing pop up. When you are processing, 50 minutes is your, we say maximum time, but that is actually the time that you should process to. If you process, you know, if you pull it off beforehand, you're not going to get the maximum lift and the maximum deposit. Okay, so if you think about the way high lifts work, I like to explain it just so that way when you're utilizing it and working with it, if it lifts for the first 30 minutes, the next 20 minutes is going to be a deposit time. Okay, so if I really want that maximum deposit to neutralize and to hold, then that 50-minute processing time really needs to stay on. And that's with any high lift. That's with our My Color, that's with our Technofruit, and that's with our Pure Diamond Lift. So we say 50 minutes, some people think it's a maximum 50 minutes, but that is the processing time, is a 50-minute processing time. So after applying the Pure Diamond Lift to the regrowth, do not apply the same colors to mid, lengths, and ends. Now, if you guys have ever gone over, now I've tested this, right? You know, I've gone through and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a high lift over some previously blonde hair. Even if it wasn't bleached or lifted, it's just their natural color blonde. It literally will pull that color, lighten and pull that color. You risk some breakage because again, you're lightening on, well, if it's processed hair, you're lightening on the processed hair. But what you're also doing is you're going to have to create time for you to go back and balance out the hair color that you have put this high lift on. So for example, if my hair grows, you can see here the blonde. If I have the roots, I'll want to go through and foil out the root with the pure diamond lift, and then the rest should be toner. If I put the 9-1 or the HL1 on the mids and ends, this is going to turn very ashy. Okay, so again, just make sure you're utilizing the two formulas just to balance out your color. So pure toners, let's see. So with the pure toners, the benefits behind it is innovative and balanced toning action, neutralizes unwanted warm underlining tones, delicate formula with eco-certified ink oil and the active shine complex, zero ammonia for excellent scalp comfort and respects the hair structure. So in the technology behind it, like we said, we have the ink oil and the active shine complex. And what these do is it gives maximum protection and brilliance along with anti-aging. So with the pure toners, the mixing ratio is 1:2, and the timing is up to 20 minutes. So you'll apply to clean, towel-dried hair, bleached or colored. It also can be for your natural blondes if they want to tone out some of their warmth, or if you want to accentuate with some caramel. Again, you can use this on them as well. So the pure white is an ice cold effect. So it's ideal for neutralizing soft yellow tones, perfect for cool blondes. Then we have pure caramel. Caramel blonde white effect, which is perfect for enhancing the warm tones. I use this also for balancing clients that, so if I have a client that comes in that has been previously highlighted somewhere else, and I find that they have like a warm, a gold, a cool, and a platinum, I will actually mix some of my pure caramel in with my white and pre-tone them, so that way it gives them a balance. It balances out the hair strand from root to end. Once I rinse, then I can go back over and I'll tone with like a platinum or my Cipria, whichever one I want. But if you find those clients that come in that kind of have the different colors of the blonde hair, you can use that caramel to balance out all the warm tones as well. So again, I recommend mixing it with a white just to soften it just a little bit, because again, if you put caramel on, it can get a little dark. So just put a little bit into your white mixture, and you could use it for pre-toning as well. It's a beautiful color for toning. And then we have the pure platinum. This is probably my hands down favorite out of the pure toners that I use a lot of the times. So this is an ash blonde. It's ideal for neutralizing underlining yellow orange tones. It's perfect for steely blondes. And then the Cipria. And this here is a pastel blonde. It's ideal for neutralizing underlining intense yellow tones, perfect for very personalized blondes. Stevens, do you have, yeah, so there you go. If you look in Stevens' book there in the camera, you'll see, can you hold it just a little bit more into it? Okay, there you go. So we have the white, and then the platinum, the caramel, and the Cipria there. It's kind of hard to see on that one. Okay, thank you. So I'll say we're gonna, before we go on to, oh, perfect. So the book that Stevens has, if any of you guys have the Blonde Ego or the Blonde Ego book. So again, it's the same colors in the book as our branding had changed. Don't worry, you still have a book that's up to date. You can see at the top, it has the 4 pure toners. Along the side, it has levels starting at level, what, 7?
Yep, and through 10.
Okay. So 7, 8, 9, 10 down. And if you look, you'll see from the top is the first one on the left is Cipria. So if I have a level 7, it'll show me what that looks like. If I go all the way down to the bottom with a level 10, you'll see what the Cipria will look like on a level 10. Okay, so just so it helps you formulate and neutralize or accentuating with the colors that we have. Thank you. So the pure toner mixing, again, it's 1:2 mixing ratio, and this is for pure toners and pastel toners. So people ask us a lot of the times, are the pastel toners, can they be mixed with the pure toners? Absolutely, yes. So you can formulate these two together. So the processing time is anywhere between 5 and 20 minutes. Maximum time is 20 minutes. So it would be mixed 1:2 with 5 or 10 volume. And we'll go over what the difference would be and why I would choose one or the other. So for 10 volume, this is 10 volume versus 5 volume coactivators. So as you know, coactivator cream, our 10 volume, that is a regular 10 volume that you have, whether you have the Technofruit, the MyColor. What's great about these coactivators is they're universal between all of our Alter Ego lines. So then we have the 5 volume coactivator emulsion. Now the emulsion is a fluid. So be careful when you're pouring it out. It comes out pretty quickly because, again, it is a liquid over having the cream of the 10 volume. So I would choose the 10 volume for my softer, brighter color effects. Okay, so again, this is more of like a brush consistency. You can use it at the bowl as well. It's just not fluid, so you'll just want to work it through a little bit more. When I say soft and brighter color effect, you're not going to have just a 100% deposit. If I pull foils, for example, if I have a highlight and I pull foils and I mix up my toner with 10 volume, I'm going to see a slight base break out of my natural hair. Okay, so it's going to give that softer look of the softer deposit with a softer base break. So that way you have this nice soft blend, but you're still going to get that tonal value out of your toners. Now, if I pull my foils and I say, I just want pure deposit, I'm going to go for my 5 volume. Okay, so this gives you a more deep, intense color deposit. So this is comparable. Once you mix it, even though they're cream, whether you use the My Color, the Technofruit, or the toners, the fluid of the coactivator emulsion makes it more fluid of the product once you mix it with your color, even though they're cream. Okay, it's very fluidy. So a lot of people ask us as well, can it go in a color bottle so I could use it at the bowl? I would recommend mixing it in the bowl, and then yes, you can pour that into a bottle and application through the bottle that way. To mix it in the bottle doesn't work as well, so just mix it in the bowl, then you can pour it into your applicator bottle.
Chrissy, I'm going to go to the chat box here. We have 3 questions that I'd like to present. One is from Emily, and she asks, if you get too much tone, is it hard to fix it?
Are we talking about out of the...
Emily, if you can take yourself off of mute real quick and let us know which product you're referring to.
That was off of the Diamond Lift.
Pure Diamond Lift. Yeah, no, I mean, you can tone it out with another, with a toner. Absolutely. It's usually pretty quick to do that. So if you get a little bit too ashy, you could mix maybe, again, I would recommend mixing the white with a little bit of the caramel and then just putting that on the areas first of where you see, keeping an eye on it. And then once you see it tone out, then go ahead and rinse.
Excellent. Danny asks, the Pure Diamond Lift has a preset amount of tone in the tube?
Yes.
Okay, and does the 40 volume eat more of those tones in the tube?
No, it works with it works with the oxygen into the hair. So as it's opening and it's pulling and it's dispersing the natural underlying pigment, it's calibrated to deposit just enough in there. So again, it's not that it has, it gives it more lift out of the hair, because again, the My Color and the Technofruit only give you that 4 levels. So that extra little bit in the tube is lift. Okay, so if that makes sense. So that way it doesn't get too confusing. But it'll give you that extra lift, but just a slight deposit. So they're very soft. They're not a lot. So if you rinse and you don't think it's enough, then again, I would recommend toning. But they're really nice, because a lot of the times when we lift, and it's the same with bleaching, when you lift and you pull too soon, or it doesn't have enough lift out of a regular tube of color, then you don't have the desired results you want. So if I look at it and say, oh, I'm going to lift up to an 8 and I'm going to tone it at an 8, well, the eye almost looks like it's more of a 7. So if we can actually lift it to a 9 and tone it at an 8, then you look like a true 8. Okay, so it does the same thing when it comes to the Pure Diamond Lifts. You're getting that true lift with that tone, so you really have this nice, bright, light color. Okay, hope that.
Is there a way to enhance or add tones to the Pure Diamond Lift?
Yes, you can use a booster. Now, so with the booster, we want to talk about when we add to a toner, or we add to a high lift color, or even a level 9 and 10, we want to be careful, because our boosters are very, very pigmented, which is great for us. But I always recommend taking your brush, and if you have the tube, you just take your brush and you just take the tip of it and then mix it in, so you get a little bit more tonal value. If you take and you squeeze a centimeter in there, you're going to rinse, and you're going to see that if I need a little bit extra blue and I put a little bit of blue in there and I rinse, the hair is going to be blue, because it's very, very strong pigmented. So again, just take that little tip.
I told you, darling, I told you about this. Sorry, but you have ideal ends and length. But your ends, it's disgusting. Sorry, it's my mind. It's my mind. No, that's that's end.
So, after, I'm sorry,
Because
say.
you have ideal ends and lengths, but your ends, it's
Oh, do we lose him?
I think we lost him.
Okay.
Okay, Valdez, I'm sorry. I think you're still on mute. Okay, so let's come back to that. Chrissy, one last question. What's the percentage
yes.
of ammonia
My
to the pure diamond
question
list?
about new product. How much I can use product 40 volumes, 30 volumes?
Yeah, so we recommend 40 volume if you want to have that maximum
Yes.
lift out of the pure diamond lift, because
Yes.
again, this is the one that gives you the 5 levels. So if you only need
Okay.
4 levels, you could use 30 volume. So technically we say 40 because you want to have the maximum, because that's where
Darling,
you're at with that.
if I can 5 volume natural base.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you use?
So this is for all natural hair. So if you have somebody that
Yes.
has long hair is what you're asking,
Yes.
and you're going to use it from root to end.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want, so like when we talked before, because of the calibration of the pure diamond lift, you could use 40 volume from root to end. Now, somebody was
40
asking,
volume. Okay.
and so somebody was asking, they're afraid if the scalp gets
Yes.
too hot from the heat zone. So say like you look at your client and you're like, okay, I know my client's hair, she has, I'm afraid to get too warm. You could do 30 volume mixture if you're more comfortable with that, if you'll get that amount of lift, if you know you'll get that amount of lift.
Yes.
And then you could do 40 from the mids to ends, if that's what, again, your formulation, you would fix for your formulation. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. You're
All right.
welcome.
All right,
Darling,
Chris.
but you have damaged hair.
So then,
Really damaged hair.
Mm-hmm. And is it natural still?
What you use for your hair?
So let's address this toward the end.
Yes.
We'll move on, and then we'll answer those questions at the end so that we can go through the rest of the presentation. So hold on to that question, okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Chrissy, what's the percentage of ammonia in the pure diamond list?
Around 3%.
Okay. And then Kelly asks for a 20-minute timing, correct?
Yes, for the toning. So you can go between 5 and 20 minutes. So just remember, the longer you leave it on, so I like to, usually when I educate, I say, if you leave it on for, 5 minutes, you'll get, between, 5 and 10 washes. If you leave it on for 20 minutes, you're going to get between 20 and 25 washes. So the longer you leave it on, the longevity it has to last into the hair. Okay.
Okay. The last question that we'll take, and then we're going to move on, is Lydia has a question, has a situation where she puts on the pure toner, a lift on natural hair. Why? And the pure toner with 5 volume.
So let me read that again. Okay, situation.
It's the last question.
Toner. It lifts the natural hair. Why? Yes. Okay, so are you using it with 10 volume or are you using it with 5 volume? Because with the 5 volume, you shouldn't see any lift from the hair. You wouldn't have a base break. If you're using it with 10 volume, 5 volume, interesting. Yeah, normally you don't have that. Let's talk with her afterwards. So that would be the formula. So if you could stay on at the end of the call, and then we'll talk some more about that. Because usually if you do it with 10 volume, now remember when you're talking about natural level hair 7 and above, you might see a slight shift when you put anything that has to be oxidized. Okay, so if it's a level 6 and below, usually you will not see any lift out of the hair. And again, because the lighter the level, right, the easier it is to, the more delicate, more, what would you say for level 7 and above? The pigment is a little bit lighter and the hair isn't as coarse. You know, usually when it's lighter, it's finer. Sorry, the texture of the hair is finer. So anytime you go a 7 and above, you might see a slight shift. But when you use 5 volume, you usually don't see any shift at all because the toner is just using, you're just pretty much toning on top of the natural hair. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit and see what we can come up with her. Okay.
Just to let everyone know, Chrissy and I will be more than happy to stay after. So we want to just make sure we move on and keep this on time. And what we will do is we will stay on after for another half hour and answer more in-depth questions. In addition to the great question that I think Bobby's had about compromised hair, is that if you'd like to stay on, we'll also go over Ego Bond, but that will be at the end of this presentation. Okay. Great questions, everyone. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay, so for the pastel toners give you creative toning with a pastel effect. It's ideal for a blonde, bleached, lightened hair from levels 7 to 10. If you can see in Stevens' camera there, he's holding up the colors for you. You could also use these in levels 5 through 6 just to moderate your color reflexes. So you can get, you know, if you want to have a little bit more of a copper effect, you can use a dusty copper on a level 5 and 6. It'll give you some of that warmer copper into the level 5 and 6 hair. You also, the modular duration is a maximum of 6 to 8 washes, which makes the color versatile and trendy. It can also be used as a modulator. So one of my favorite formulas is if I take the platinum toner and I add, we'll do grams, we'll do 28 grams of platinum toner. And I want to make my platinums really icy and really a beautiful, beautiful platinum. I add 2 grams of my denim mauve to my formula. And then I do double 5 volume. So I have that bluey ash that is like a violet blue that goes into my platinum. And that makes my really icy blonde. So I use that formula quite a bit when I do my blondes, whether I'm pulling foils or even with the platinum highlights, because everybody in Arizona wants to be platinum. So. Okay. So here are the colors. The new colors are Cappuccino, Pink Pop, and Milky Mint. Then we have the Denim Mauve, the Pastel Lilac, and the Dusty Copper. So the pastel toners make it possible to experiment with new colors and color combinations without being restricted for too long, ensuring the look that is always in line with the current trends. Oh, somebody just put on there that mixing the Denim Mauve with the pastel with the pastel lilac makes a really, really pretty, what you say, platinum color. So, or lavender color, I'm sorry. Gorgeous. Great, thank you. So then if you look here on the color chart, now this is found in the Blondego book as well. You'll find the color chart. So you can see here where the HL0 falls, where you could use the Cappuccino. Again, a Cappuccino is a beautiful color. If you have anybody that has previously lightened hair, you know, I want to say most of us know who Jennifer Aniston is, but when you color hair and the exposed pigment starts to show up a little bit over time, Cappuccino, I mix it with a white just to soften it. It's a beautiful color to neutralize out. And it seems a little scary when you look at it, but it just neutralizes back out to this gorgeous, like, I don't want to say caramel because it's more like a sandy blonde color without helping, you know, it helps neutralize those warm pigments. So again, you can see here where the colors fall on the color wheel. Right. So we're going to talk about Pure Highlight. So this is a phenomenal product for you guys to have behind the chair. So Pure Highlight is a hair lifting cream for colored hair, ideal to be used on cosmetic levels 4 through 8. Now, again, remember that it's for levels 4 through 8 that's already previously colored hair. Okay, the tube size is 150 milliliters, so you get multiple uses out of it. It's mixed with our regular co-activator creams. And so for use on lengths and ends. So that is for use on previously colored hair. That's why we say lengths and ends. Okay, so the benefits is it lifts up to 3 levels and fully respects the hair structure. A gradual and programmed lifting action for up to 3 levels of lift. And you can personalize cosmetic colors with interesting multi-dimensional lightening effects without having to bleach and tone. Okay. So the mixing ratio, when it comes to pure highlight, whether you use it by itself or you use it mixed with other products, whether it's the Technofruit or you're going to add in a booster or using alone, is 1 to 2. So you're going to use co-activator creams, 20, 30, or 40 volume, and you'll apply this on dry hair from lengths and ends. So the processing time is anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes max. So we'll talk about some different techniques that we can use the pure highlight for. So the first one here is multi-dimensional lightning effect. So you would mix it 1 to 2. So 1 part pure highlight to 2 parts of 30 or 40 volume. Now, for example, you would use 30 grams of pure highlight and 60 grams of your chosen 30 or 40 volume co-activator cream. Now we'll use a simple color of, we'll say 5-4. If I wanted to add some multi-dimensional, I put my client's roots of 5-4 on a root, and then I decide I want to go through and just add some pieces of lightness that goes through her hair. I could use the 1 to 2 mixing with 30 volume. It'll give me about 2 levels of lift. I'll be around a 6 to 7 of usually about a 7-4 because it helps, it still keeps that underlying pigment of the color that I used on the hair. So as you see, you'll have some really soft highlights through the hair. It doesn't have to be extreme, but this is another multi-dimensional lightning effect that you can use. Now with creative highlight and custom toning effects, well, this one's really fun. So say like I have that same client and we'll say she's a 5-4, and I want her to have these pops of orange, these pops of copper. I can mix, again, still mixing 1 to 2. So I would do equal parts of my pure highlight or up to equal parts of my orange booster, depending on how bright I want those. And so I would use the orange, and then I would do double 30 or 40. Now, again, I would go through, I could put my root color on and then mix this up, put it through the hair, whether I want to do some pieces on the ends or if I want to add some panels inside. What this will do is it's going to lift that color, that synthetic color out of the hair. And at the same time, it's going to deposit that orange booster. So now that you look at that, it's pretty much creating your own customized high lift for previously colored hair. So just another phenomenal way to add some depth and dimension into the hair, all in one step while your client's color's on. Okay. So lightening and breaking excess pigment and breaking up banding. So we'll say a client that has red hair. As we know, red synthetic pigment on top of red synthetic pigment on top of red synthetic pigment can brown out. So if I do my client's roots, and her roots are beautiful, we'll say 6-6-6-6, and her ends now look almost like a 5 mixed 5-0 mixed with a 5-6, just because over 6 times this is now starting to brown out. What I could do is put my client's roots on. I would mix equal parts of my pure highlight, and this one here is just to remove the breakup. Sorry. So I could go through and do we'll take a step back. Stevens, will you go to the next slide real quick? So we'll talk about, finish the reds. So we're gonna talk about refreshing reds and copper. So that's what I was talking about. So I have my 6-6-6, and then this is that brown out. I would do my color on the root. Then I would mix 15 grams of pure highlight and 15 grams of my 6-6-6 with 20 or 30 volume. So as you can see here, the example would be 15 grams. Then you would do double coactivator. Then you would run that through the mids and ends, and that will refreshen your red. So it's going to remove some of those red synthetic pigments and redeposit all in one step. So for those of you that know reds or have used reds before, a lot of the times we have to use a bleach wash, right, or a soap cap to break up some of those red synthetic pigments. Then we have to go back through and do another step of doing the roots, then refreshing the ends. This is all in one step. Okay, so we'll talk about illuminating lengths and ends. Same thing. So if I have a brown and I feel like her brown looks a little dull, I could use the formulation that's at the top. So I would say give me a formula, Stevens.
Let's do 7 from the 7 series.
Okay, so we'll say a 7-7. So after time 7-7, I want it to be a little bit brighter. So I would do the same formulation, and I would stick more with probably my 20 volume because I don't want to have too much lift out of there. So personally, I would do 15 grams of pure highlight, 15 grams of 7-7, and then 60 grams of 20 volume. Now, again, I would apply my root, and then I would go through and apply this formula from the mids and ends or wherever I feel that it's darker or not as much shine. So it's going to remove some of those synthetic pigments and redeposit the color that I have just to illuminate my links and ends. Okay, can we go back one slide? Great. So lightning and breaking. So when we talk about quarantine, we talked about a lot of banding that had come in because some people were buying box colors. Some people, you know, when they go through, or even if you have a client that comes from another salon, and a lot of times if they don't weigh out their color, you'll see they'll have bands throughout their hair. So this is where you would mix 1 part pure highlight to 2 parts of your co-activator cream, 30 or 40 volume, and you would go through and place this wherever those bands are. Okay, and again, process 30 to 50 minutes, depending on how much lift you need out of it. And then once you would rinse, then you would go through and do your color all over. So, you know, we had some clients that would come in that have like a darker band, you know, right around the ear. They have the root, the band, and then the color that you've done before. You could go in and break this band up, then go back, do your roots, pull it through that area, and now you have one solid color. So again, another technique to use the pure highlight with. Okay. Was there any questions on that one? The chat box? Okay.
So Danny left a question, but Danny will address that question at the end regarding the Booster Pure Highlight and Creative Changer. I think we've addressed all the questions there. Does anyone have a question that they have not been able to put in the chat, or if they'd like to take themselves off of mute and ask Chrissy regarding the 4 products that she covered?
Okay, so Connie just asked a question about what happens if you accidentally get pure highlight on natural hair. You're going to find it's a very high and fast lift. Now, I will tell you, when people ask, if you put it on, if you're breaking the band and you get on natural hair, you're going to have a lighter band, okay, from the natural, because it's going to lift more. That way, when you go back through, you'll just need to make sure if you go too light there, again, just be careful with your application. If you go too light, you might have to fill before you put your color back on. But otherwise, once you do your color, it usually covers, you know, all the way through. Now, we've said in classes before, this is not for natural hair. This is not a product to break the base with. That way, because a lot of the times people will put it on and literally within 30 seconds, the natural hair will go bright orange, and now you have a corrective color to do. So this is not a product to break the base with. Again, please understand this is for previously colored hair. Okay.
Yeah, and I think this is an amazing product. It's one of our hero products. And I think if you have any questions how to use the product, always do a strand test. The best way is to really go at the nape of the neck, apply this product with 30 or 40 volume. That way it will expose the underlying melanin or tones that are left from the synthetic color. And then that way you know that you can enhance or cancel out any unwanted warmth. And as Chrissy shared, being able to mix the Technofruit or Booster or in this to lift your own, create your own lift and tone, you have that added benefit of this just being such a multi-universal product in corrective color, taking banding out of hair and refreshing just kind of muddied out color. And there's a great question is that, does Alter Ego make an actual color remover? Please do not think that Pure Highlight is a color remover, although we're saying that it will push or remove some of the synthetic old color molecule out. It's not to be considered a color remover. So to answer your question, we don't have a specific product designed as a color remover, such as Ethosol or some of the others that we see that are out there. So I think it just depends on a case-by-case basis as to what you're trying to remove and how and why. And Chrissy and I can go over that toward the end. What would be, Emily is asking, what would be the best way to refresh or brighten ends on a platinum blonde client who ends have become muddy over time?
So, you know, that's where I would probably mix up my, so the other countries have a product that, so for other countries, we'll talk about the product later, but for the US, Emily, if you're here, I would use the cream bleach. So I would use the cream mixed with the 10 volume or even 5 volume and just lightly put that through. Now, again, if they are fully platinum, you would just wash this through almost like a shampoo cap. It's very delicate and gentle, so it'll just remove just a little bit and rinse. I wouldn't let it sit for a long time, but you can see where it just pulls it right out, and then you have some of that condition from the hyaluronic acid and the Inca
Mm-hmm.
oil that has actually conditioned as well.
That's a great question, and we'd love to get into depth probably a little more at the end, because there's so many different variables that would matter. You know, what is the client's hair? There are other alternatives like what Chrissy shared, and I'm about to go over with the clean bleach with you of ways to correct color. So it's a slight color correction because the hair is a little compromised considering how platinum it may be, and there are steps that we want to ensure that you take so that your work looks beautiful and the client is happy. Okay, awesome. So we're going to move on to the Ultra Comfort. And this is our lighteners or bleaching system. And it's an extensive range of cream and powder bleaches to guarantee an infinity of technical services. So as you see here in the lineup, we have our balayage clay lightener, our Ultra 9 lightener, Pure Light blue powder, and then our Pure Light cream. And then we're going to talk about a special co-activator called Total Blonde Activator. So in this range or this family of lighteners, our most universal bleach that lifts up to 7 levels is our Pure Light blue powder. It's dust-free, and again, it's a light blue powder. The Ultra 9 lightener is our fast-acting powder that lifts up to 9 levels. Only 5 levels of lift in 30 minutes. So when we say 5 levels of lift in 30 minutes, we've even seen it in 20. So it's very fast-acting. It's a dust-free pro-light system, and it's a gray powder. Balayage clay lightener is for freehand techniques up to 7 levels of lift. It's a dust-free with kaolin, clay, and pro-light system, and it's pink in color. The Pure Light cream is the most ideal, and we consider it also a very universal lightener, but it is ideal for on-scalp application, or if you're bleaching the entire head with Total Blonde Activator, which is the bottle to the right of it, up to 7 levels, and it's a white cream. And our Total Blonde Activator is a special 20-volume oxidizing cream for on-scalp application. So let's talk about the Total Blonde Activator. So how to use it, it's mixing is a 1:2 ratio with the Pure Light cream for full head bleaching. 20 volume, it's boosted with a cosmetic active ingredient for full head lightening. So the mix, when you mix the Total Blonde Activator with the Pure Light cream, you have guaranteed comfort and protection. The technology behind it is paraben-free hyaluronic acid, and hyaluronic acid holds 1,000 times its weight in moisture. So think of this as a really creamy consistency that's adding moisture to the hair. And we know that when we're lightening the hair and pulling melanin out, it can deplete the hair of moisture and the hair can become fragile. So it has a filling action. And the active ingredients of Inca oil and Active Shine Complex give maximum protection and brilliance to the hair and an anti-aging, antioxidizing process to it. So it's a special, really creamy formula. And if you see here, this is the difference. So this is our Total Blonde Activator, 20 volume for on-scalp application versus our our 20 volume co-activator cream. Okay, so they're both 20 volume, but we just suggest using this for your on-scalp application. Okay, and it's just got a really rich, creamy consistency. So the Pure Light cream is, you can use this, how to use this. You're gonna get 7 levels of lift with maximum control. You can use this for freehand techniques, foil techniques, or full head lightening. So for a freehand technique or balayage type of technique, you wanna use a 1 to 1.5 mixing ratio of Pure Light cream to the co-activator cream. And that co-activator cream, again, would be your choice of 20, 30, or 40 volume in the silver packets. For foil techniques, the same. You want to use a 1 to 2 mixing ratio of Pure Light cream and your choice of co-activator cream. And then your full head lightening will be a 1 to 2 mixing ratio with the Total Blonde Activator cream. Apply to dry, unwashed hair. Your processing time, the maximum is 45 minutes, and the technology behind it is the Inca oil and Active Shine Complex. Now, one little tip I'll share with you guys that Chrissy and I like to talk about with, if you're doing full head lightening or a global bleaching on scalp, one of the brushes that we really like to talk about is our spatula brush. Okay, and as you see in my screen, this is a nifty little brush with a silicone applicator versus your traditional type of bristle brush. And the reason being is that when you use this to apply the lightener at the scalp or on the root, it really ensures that you're pushing the product into the hair and applying it on the scalp without using a bristle that can sometimes irritate the scalp or brush the product off even, okay? So this spatula brush really ensures that you're getting even application, okay? Then our Pure Light Blue powder, it lifts up to 7 levels. The cosmetic lightning that fully respects the hair structure with a basically a zero dust non-volatile formula, and it's very easy to mix with our coactivator creams. So there's some techniques here that you can use for either a freehand technique, which is a more fluid technique in balayage of 1 to 1.5 mixing ratio of your Pure Light Blue powder, and then your choice of coactivator cream. For a foil technique, you can use it as a 1 to 2 mixing ratio of your Pure Light Blue powder to your choice of coactivator cream, and the maximum processing time is 45 minutes. The technology behind this product has the Inca oil and active shine complex. And then it was exciting last year, we launched these 2 new lighteners. And I'm really proud to say that the Ultra 9 lightener, we were one of the first manufacturers worldwide, as well as in the US, to have released a 9 level of lift lightener. Now we've seen a lot of our competitors releasing theirs, but we were one of the first 3 manufacturers to release an Ultra 9 lightener. And then our balayage clay lightener has a really cool technique that we'll talk about, technology that we'll talk about that really keeps the hair during a balayage process, and a lot of the clay lighteners that we see moisturized throughout the process. So with this new frontier of lightning, with maximum comfort and respect for the hair structure, you're getting protection, creativity, precision, intensity, and brightness with these products. And the Pro Light system, it's a high bleaching performance that allows you to optimize time and results, ensuring the perfect lifting results on the hair with a single use. The hair is protected during and after the bleaching treatment, thanks to the precious polyamino sugar condensate complex, which is a composition of sugars. The integrity of the hair fiber is respected, and it leaves the scales compact and at the end of the lightening process, in which the hair is protected during and after the treatment. So then there, it ensures brightness and softness. And that sugar contained in the mixture has a high conditioning agent to it. So it leaves the hair moisturized, the moisturizing power, which confers cosmetically and adds softness to the hair after a lightening service. And the Pro Light system is an exclusive 2-in-1 system that combines the bleaching power and the lightening powders and the conditioning properties. So the actions promotes the adhesion of water molecules to the hair. It maintains the correct level of hydration and creates a protective film against aggressive chemical agents that could damage the hair. So the results are, you have a high bleaching performance, hair is protected during and after the bleaching service, and you have brightness and softness to the hair. So our balayage clay lightener is zero dust because it is more of a clay thick consistency, gives you 7 levels of lift. It's easy to mix and has a very elastic texture, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. Has maximum precision and adhesion during the application to the hair and respect of the hair structure. So to use in mixing the balayage clay lightener with your choice of coactivator cream, 10, 20, 30, or 40 volume, it's a 1 to 2 mixing ratio depending on the desired degree of lightening that you choose. You apply it to dry hair and leave on for a maximum of 45 minutes. The kaolin clay has the absorbent properties of clay that gives an elastic consistency to the bleaching powder that perfectly adheres to the separated strands of hair without the use of tinfoil. So when you apply it to the hair, as you would in a traditional balayage technique of sweeping it onto the hair, what it does is it films a protective barrier around the hair, and that's what that elastic, almost fibrous consistency feels like. And the best way to explain it is, as we know with a lot of clay lighteners and they dry around the hair, it creates that barrier without having to use perforated plastic or foil or cotton. This will help, you'll take your finger and as you take it across the strand of hair and reveal what's underneath the product, you will notice that the product that's on your hand has a bit of an elasticity texture to it, fibrous texture, and it's moist. And inside the hair shaft itself is still wet from the product. So we know that a lot of times with clay lighteners, when they dry out, they kind of stop the processing time in the product. Where this, with the moisturization of those polyamino sugars, it will keep that product wet on the hair, okay? Then we have our Ultra 9. This is zero dust. It's a grayish color, intense and precise lightening technique up to 9 levels. It has a creamy texture. It ensures a high neutralization of unwanted reflections or unwanted yellow tones. So it's enriched with the ProLight system. It gives maximum respect to the hair structure, and it has fast lightning action, as I had mentioned, up to 5 levels in 30 minutes. For a high performance lightning, you'll get up to 9 levels in 60 minutes. So to mix the Ultra 9 lightener with a coactivator cream, we only suggest 10, 20, and 30 volume. Following the mixing ratios, you depend on the desired degree of lightening. You have a 1:2 mixing ratio for intense lightening and a 1:3 mixing ratio for a medium lightening. You apply it to the dry hair and leave on up to 60 minutes, rinse thoroughly, and then afterwards you can apply the Blonde Maintain or Silver Maintain shampoo for cleansing, and then proceed with the treatment best suited for the hair type. What I'll share with you about this product is, as you've heard me say, it is fast acting. It is the most amazing lightener I think is on the market right now. This is an amazing product to use. There's different scenarios, but one of the scenarios that I like to share is I'll start off with my balayage clay lightener with 20 or 30 volume. And as I start from the back, move my way forward, that by the time I get to the front and through the sides, that product is processed and the hair may be ready to be rinsed. So once I take that client back to the bowl, rinse my product out, and I still have my hairline left, I like to use the Ultra 9 lightener as a quick face framing highlight. So I mix that with, typically I'll use a 20 volume, but I can also use 10 depending on the level, let's say a lighter level, natural level 7 or 8, and go through and do my face framing highlight. And within, as we've mentioned, within 30 minutes, and I've seen it act as fast as 20 minutes, you get a beautiful face frame, rinsed, and you're ready to go. So this isn't a product that I would suggest if you're a slow foiler and needing to really lift. If you are a slow foiler, go ahead and use a 10 volume or choose another lightener to start from the back and your sides. And then as you move front and you need a faster processing time, go ahead and use the Ultra 9 lightener with your choice of coactivator cream. Okay. And then, as I mentioned, the spatula brush before, we have this amazing double bristle brush. So as you see on the screen and in my video screen, this is that was a double bristle brush for balayage. And the reason why we love this for balayage is as you take a look, it has the corrugated or type of textured black bristles. And in between the black bristles sits a very fine, soft white bristle. So when you're doing the balayage, a balayage technique, you can create your single, double, and triple points very lightly with these white bristles and then go through and apply. And what I like about the textural bristles is that it will hold product. So whether it's a lightener or color, it will hold within the brush, and then I have that to apply through my mid shaft and ends. This also makes a great tool for when you're applying a color at the root, because these little white baby bristles will get the little baby fine hairs along a hairline into your application. Okay.
A couple questions here. So the cream lightener does not dry out, is what Danny's asking. So it stays moist longer.
Does the cream lightener?
Yeah, he's asking it doesn't dry out, staying with the cream bleach. So it stays moist longer. Yeah. Like normal cream. Yeah. And then Michael asked, so would you compare the Total Blonde Activator and cream lightener to Scruple's Blazing Lightener? I don't know enough about blazing.
I'm not too familiar with Scruple's Blazing, so I'm unfortunately can't answer that question.
Yeah, so I would like to explain, like with the cream bleach, it's almost the combination between a powder bleach and an oil bleach put together in one. So you have a softer lift of the product, but it's more of the creamy consistency. So just so you kind of have that in mind. I don't know if that helps or not.
So Scruples is an oil lightening system, and it's a real hot seller because it does virtually no damage to the hair when you lighten with it. It's and it's one of the hardest things to tear people away from. And with Scruples having trouble right now, it's easy for us to get in there. But with people, the high point of their market for Scruples is blazing. It's looking for something to use for blazing in place of blazing.
Michael, how many levels of lift does that give them, the client?
I know at least up to 7.
Up to 7. Okay. I would probably say, defer what Chrissy had mentioned, the cream lightener. It would be, I mean, it's not the same, it's not an oil, but it has a lot of oils rich in it that will ensure that the hair is not compromised. It has a lot of nourishing agents to it.
Yeah. So I know a lot of oil bleaches, which could be Scruples as well, and their activator that they have, if they have an activator with it, a lot of oil bleaches you don't use over 20 volume with. You can't, like, it causes damage if you use something higher than that.
Right.
And I don't know if that's exactly how Scruples is or not, but that's usually industry standard is when it comes to those oil bleaches. Now, this being the cream bleach that it is, we do ask you to knead the package so that way the oil is mixed in, because the way the package is. So again, just turn and, just lightly knead it. If you don't and you pour it out, you're going to see some oil come out. A lot of that is the conditioning oil that's in there. So you want to mix that up before you use it. So this is a true cream bleach. I'd like to explain that it's kind of the mix between the powder and the oil, because you get more of that same consistency of that once you mix it with the Total Blonde activator. But say, like, I have a client that has more delicate hair around the front, but she's, gray, and I want to use 30 volume on her. I could use 30 or even 40 volume in foils with the cream bleach, because it's a cream, it isn't an oil base. So this might be where that difference comes in to the Scruples blazing as well. Yeah. Okay.
Hope that helps, Michael.
Yeah.
It does.
Okay. Good.
Awesome.
Thank
So
you.
Danny also asked, is the clay lightener if it clumps up? So like a lot of clay lighteners, you will get, sometimes you can get some lumps in there, but it really doesn't. It does not clump up. And the best way to ensure, the anti-clumping part of it is when you disperse the product into your bowl and you add your coactivator cream. Before I add the coactivator cream, I take my whisk, which is a plastic whisk, and I kind of go in and just kind of mash it up, or I will even take my spatula brush and add a little bit of my coactivator cream, and I will push that in through and almost create a really thick like paste, and then continue to add my coactivator cream for the consistency that I need, and then really whisk this well. We recommend the whisk versus the brush, because if you take your brush, number one, you're gonna ruin your good brush. The brush will also hold a lot of product within the bristles, and you're not ensuring consistent mixing. Where this, when you have the little bars through there, it's going to ensure that the product, even if it's thick and pasty, is going to glide through there, and you're going to break it down. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then I go back in with my spatula brush, and I'll give it a swirl with the spatula brush, clean off the edge, and just kind of test it and see the consistency of it. And if you see any clumping, just take that spatula brush, push it off to the side of your bowl, and just push it in. And then that will ensure that you get no clumping.
Yeah, there's no clumping. It's not like some other brands where it's almost gritty. It doesn't do that. It's almost like a softer clay bleach, I feel, with the consistency of it, instead of it being gritty. And then the consistency is staying that way with both the bleaches of the Ultra 9 and the clay. If it starts to swell a little bit, if it's taking me a while to get through it, or if I want to do one section and then I'm coming back to the front, all you have to do is re-whisk it, and it just consistency goes right back to where it's at, and then you continue to apply. So again, just continue to, if it starts to change a little bit or gets a little fluffy for you, just remix it with your whisk, and you're back to the normal texture that you had before.
And that answers the last question, is as the consistency of any of our lighteners. You won't see that they get super imploded, but if they do get fluffed up a little bit, just taking your whisk and mixing that in brings that back down, especially the clay lightener. It just gives you that rich consistency, because after time when the product's sitting there, the consistency may change, but just remixing that occasionally, if you feel like there's inconsistencies with the fluidity of the product, just remix. Okay.
So there's another question about the cream lightener being more gentle than even the blue lightener. Yes, the cream is probably our most gentle lightener, because it's made for on the scalp bleaching as well. But again, you can use it on somebody that has, like when Val was asking, somebody that has really damaged hair through the mids and ends. If I wanted to add some highlight through it, I would go for my cream bleach over my blue or my Ultra 9 or the balayage. And then Joe wanted to comment. Yeah, go ahead.
So he loves the Ultra 9. Yes, Joe, it is amazing. And he finds himself mixing for texture rather than weight or volume. You're saying 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 by weight, correct? Yes. We're saying this no matter what. Any of our products, any of our portfolios, color, lighteners, we we beg of you, use our scale or use a kitchen scale that has the grams to ounces, because here's why. When you put the product inside your bowl and you only mix through to consistency, you're going to get inconsistent results. So if you mix the proper amount of a 1 to 2, 1 to 3, so, you know, if you've got your 20 grams of product that you decide to mix and you add the proper coactivator in there, you know that each time you're going to get a consistent lifting out of the lighteners because of that mixing ratio. So I really do recommend using and measuring the product versus kind of gauging it by consistency. But, you know, it's not to say that if you feel like you've done the 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 mixing ratio and you feel like it needs to be just a little more fluid or thickened up, just make sure you weigh out what you put in and compensate for what you've added to the bowl.
Yeah, because again, when you're 1 to 2 mixing ratio, that's going to give you maximum lifting. If you do 1 to 3, then it's going to slow it down a little bit, give you a little bit more control, and it won't lift as fast as the 1 to 2 mixing. So say like Joe, you put your product in and then you put, you know, what you weigh at 1 to 3, it's still a little thick and you add a little more, it's going to slow it down even a little bit more with your lifting power of what your Ultra 9 should be. So again, just keep that in mind as you're adding for 1 to 2 to 1 to 3.
Great questions. Been using the scale for the color for decades, just need to start doing it for lighteners. Yeah, yes. Yeah, we just say that. Just, you know, I used to be a textural kind of guy, like just with the lighteners. And when I switched over to doing it based on that scale, there was a difference, especially when you're working on darker levels and you need to know that you're consistent each time in lifting with the proper coactivators. All right, so last but not least, guys, we're almost finished here. We just want to cover a couple of other things, and that's the color maintenance program. Just kind of giving you a real quick overview of our Master Care line, which here shows you color care, silver maintain, repair, hydrate, silk oil, volume, and curly. Hydrate, silk oil, volume, and curly are our newest family members to the Master Care portfolio. They're amazing products for at the back bar as well as at home care. What we would like to share with you is that the color care for shine protection, softness, and silkiness, it's for treated, color treated, or pre-lightened hair, and it will protect the hair and keeps the cosmetic color vivid up to 7 weeks and shiny up to 7 weeks or 20 washes. It has the anti-pollution of Urban Shield technology and a blend of antioxidant ingredients of goji berry, which also serves as a natural UV protectant. So this is a really great product to use at the back bar to get the color or lightener rinsed out of the hair, and then for color service or color maintenance for the clients at home.
We'll talk about our silver maintain, which goes hand in hand with our blondes. So it's a neutralizing, efficiency, no yellow, and protection for the silver maintain shampoo and conditioner. So who's it for? It's for blonde, gray, white, both natural, colored, and bleached hair. So what it does is it's a neutralizing action on unwanted yellow tones for up to 5 weeks. So why it works, it's high-performing violet pigments, blends of antioxidant ingredients, which include the goji berry and lychee, and it offers protection to the hair. So our Silver Maintain is our most pigmented shampoo that Alter Ego has. Stevens, can you go to the next slide real quick? We'll look at the comparison of the shampoo and the conditioner. So the conditioner is lighter than the shampoo in pigment. So we have here an example of our base level 8, and then using the Silver Maintain shampoo on it, you can see the toning effect is a lot cooler than even just using the conditioner alone on that level 8 hair. So again, you see that the Silver Maintain maximum toning, you could use it even for, you know, pre-toning before you tone for any other, your services that go through. So that's our Silver Maintain shampoo and the conditioner. And then we also have our Blonde Maintain shampoo. So this is for frequent use of no yellow maintaining shampoo, ideal for bleach, lightened, blonde, white, and gray colored and natural hair. It neutralizes, gently neutralizes yellow tones, providing brightness and softness. Now, with that being said, this product, the Blonde Maintain, is 10 shades lighter than the Silver Maintain. So as we know, clients go home with Silver Maintain. Sometimes it might be a little too strong for them in the shower, whether it's on their walls or their hands, or even we know clients put shampoo on and they go directly to the crown of their head, and now they have more of an ash ring around their head. So if we want to control that a little bit, this would be a product that you would send home that the client can use every day to maintain their blondes. So that way they don't get brassy or it keeps the yellow away. So the formula behind it is the Plant Care 2000 Up, a non-ionic surfactant with optimum foam capability and good dermatological compatibility. It's got guar powder in it, which is quaternialized flour with a vegetable origin with highly concentrating conditioning properties. So again, you would just distribute this on the wet hair, massage it. You could let this sit for a few minutes if you wanted, rinse thoroughly, and then follow with either one of the color conditioner, or even if they need, if it's somebody that needs one of the other conditioners in the Master Care line, that's fine as well. Or they could use the Silver Maintain conditioner because again, that's lighter than the shampoo. So you could partner those together at home. Okay.
Perfect. All right. So the one thing I want to make mention is, I had shared with you our balayage double bristle brush. I shared with you the silicone spatula brush, and we have an array of tools to help you. So obviously the whisk, and then this is also a detail brush that's slanted, that's great for balayage use as well, or for any of those stubborn little hairs around a hairline with color application and getting those in. So we have these 4 amazing tools. But in addition to those tools, with the obviously the color bowl that I showed you, we also have the beautiful glass bowl that has our logo on it. And it's fun because when you apply any fun fantasy colors to the hair, the client likes to see what's in the bowl. And this just shows the product really nicely inside your bowl. But the other product that tools that I would really recommend you guys looking through your distributor for is our balayage kit. And the balayage kit comes with 3 booklets of how-tos with placement of the blending. One is called Blending Chrome, the other is Bronzage Pro, and the other is Smoky Blonde. And what's beautiful about these is that it will show you how the product was placed in the hair to achieve the look, the technique and the step-by-step. And it's all here in this booklet with the products that were used on the back. Okay, and so with the product use of the lighteners that you choose, also in this kit with the 3 books comes these 3 tools, which is a detail brush, which is a beautiful, it's almost like a Shuamura makeup brush. These are really soft bristles, but they're dense. And these are awesome for creating probably wider single, double, triple points within the hair for balayage. And then you have your blending brush, which is wider. And this applies color to the mid-shaft and ends really, really well, okay? But in addition to that, this 3rd product, which Chrissy and I both love, is our balayage cushion, which has a little nifty finger strap in the back. And what you end up doing is you take this sponge, and it's textural, and you can dip into the bowl, have your product applied to the sponge, and grab through putting the hair between the sponge and apply to the hair. You can also brush up the hair and create texture with this sponge for faster application. Okay, Chrissy, I forgot to mention about the double bristle brush, the little tip and trick with that. Do you want to mention that?
Oh, sure.
In creating texture?
Yeah, absolutely. So with the corrugated bristles, you could actually take your hair and you do a slight push, and you actually get diffusion onto the hair. So as you can see, it gives me more of like, I don't want to say back combing, but it will actually help tease up. And then even if I have product on my brush, I could go up and then bring down and do pieces and then pull through. So it makes balayaging really, really fast, and it keeps it where you have a lot of that diffusion that happens into the hair.
Yeah, it's a fun brush, you guys. I usually have 2 of these with my 2 different bowls of color to create maybe a shadow root, as Chrissy showed you. It will create that texture. So this brush is in my color bowl, and then the other brush is in my lightener bowl. So I love this brush. To me, it's the most universal brush for color application or lightener application. All right. Last but not least, we just want to thank you guys and share with you our website and social media. Please go to our website, which is www.alteregoitaly.com. You will see that on the website, through each portfolio and the information that we shared with you gives you all the features and benefits, including product ingredient on the website. Our Facebook and Instagram here in the US is Alter Ego Italy North America. Please follow us both on Facebook and Instagram. Chrissy and I have also shared a couple of hashtag tips about videos where Chrissy does do a live video showing you the difference of Silver Maintain and Blonde Maintain. So take a look at those videos. last but not least, this is our 2020 Zoom webinar dates for the rest of the year. So as I mentioned, today being September 14th, later today at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Chrissy and I will be hosting Hey C2 today. And then in 2 weeks, September 28th, we will be going over Technofruit and then our Master Care. Technofruit will take place at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Master Care will be 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you guys so much. This concludes Blonde Ego. Chrissy and I are going to stay on. We would love for you to take yourself off of mute and ask us any questions, whether it be about the products or techniques or any troubleshooting that you may have.
Kelly was asking about my color classes. Kelly, just so you know, we are going to probably adjust a few of the classes coming up, so that way we have some other options coming up. Instead of just a Technofruit, we'll do a Technofruit My Color class. So keep your eye out. We'll make some adjustments as we'll hold it for this month, so that way our international has all the classes listed already for this month. And then we'll look at, Stevens, I think October, we'll look at changing a couple of those or adding two. Okay.
Excellent.
And then I know, let's look back at the chat box here, because there was a couple more that we had here. Where's the chat box? There it is. Okay. So Emily was asking, is Emily still on here? Yes. She was asking about the hydrate conditioner and sudsing up. So why does it suds up? So with the hydrate conditioner, shampoo and conditioner, hydrate is really formulated for fine to medium hair. So if you're finding that you're not getting the hydration that you're looking for when it comes to thicker hair, a lot of times you'll want to adjust that and maybe go to the silk oil shampoo or conditioner. So a lot of times with my clients that have a little bit thicker hair, I can do the hydrate shampoo and I'll use the silk oil conditioner. So just keep an eye on that. The texture of it is made to where it really encapsulates, it's aloe vera is one of the main ones. So as you know, that gel consistency. So just make sure you rinse your shampoo out really, really well. You still might get a little bit of suds, but sometimes having that little bit of residual will help, you'll see it suds as well. So again, just rinse. If you find that that's where it's coming from, but that's just the consistency of what it is from that aloe vera. And it's funny you say that you don't find much slip from it. A lot of people will talk about how it's too slick. So, and that means that they just need to rinse the product out from the hair a little bit more. Okay. And then there was another one here that we were going to come back to. I think Danny was asking about Creative Changer with the booster and the highlight. Yes, you can put Creative Changer in any of your color formulas. So again, if you're going to put it in one, you would want to put it in the two if you're using two different formulas, okay? But yes, it can go in any of those. Just make sure you follow the guideline for your color, okay? And then Michael asked about the cream bleach, which we spoke about. And then Val was asking, and Val's still on, right? Yep, Val's there. And then we had one other one that we were going to talk to too. Your toner. Okay. So Val, with what we would recommend if somebody comes in, whether it's chemical or mechanical, or just, again, they haven't had a haircut and I don't want to cut my hair for 9 years. This is my hair. It looks great. I would recommend doing Ego Bond treatments on them even before you do their color. So you could do the Ego Bond standalone treatment on them. And then if you feel that their hair is in good enough condition, then you can move forward with your technique. If again, and I explain that to my clients as well. So I'm comfortable doing it, but I really want to make sure that your hair is in the better condition before we start putting any products on. So you could do 2 Ego Bond treatments a week. You would mix your Ego Bond 1 with your Ego Bond 2, and then you would mix those together, apply it to cleanly washed hair, then you would rinse, and then you would do your Ego Bond 3. Now, are you familiar, Val, with Ego Bond? Shows you still there. So you want to go to the standalone treatment at least and then that way everybody can kind of see how to mix real quick. And so the Ego Bond, again, this is your bond builder and your bond protector. So what it does is it protects and fortifies the hair structure during the technical service. And then it works in conjunction with all your technical services, whether it's color, bleach. You could do it as, again, a standalone treatment. I like to use it as my conditioning treatments when clients come into the salon. This is my pretty much my go-to when they want a conditioning treatment for their hair. Okay. Okay, go ahead and go to the next one. So we have a 1, a 2, and a 3, which is our bond booster, a bond setter, and a bond locker. Okay. And then this talks about what the internal and external actions are with the Ego Bond. So you have the Caravis bond technology. So it's the active complex of amino acids and proteins of vegetable origin that preserves and strengthens the hair during technical services. So the internal, its low molecular weight enables it to penetrate the cortex, restoring incredible strength and improved resistance. External, it gives protection and hydrates. So it restores hydration and wraps an invisible shield around the hair shaft to protect and preserve the structure. Now, comparing to other brands of bond builders, a lot of brands of bond builders are made of chemical, all chemical. Okay, so this is where ours stands out. Having the amino acids and the proteins of the vegetable, it helps restructure and hydrate the hair. So you'll see a difference. You're not going to have a buildup. So there's certain ones out there that if you use it on fine hair, it's fine. If you use it on thick texture hair, overusing it will cause breakage and you'll find damage and you'll see more of that. So with the Ego Bond, having this being said, with this bond technology, it accepts and takes in what it needs and releases what it doesn't. So with that being said as well, that external action doesn't just build up on the outside of the hair. Like it says, it has an invisible shield that wraps, but it's like a webbing. So that way, when you move the hair, the hair will continue to move over if you have other bond builders that can cause breakage because it can get too hard on the outside of the hair. Hope that makes sense. Okay, that's like the best way visually I can explain it to you. So go ahead and go to the next one.
I'll also add to that, when you take a look at what Chrissy's sharing with you, the Caravis bond technology is a patented technology that Alter Ego Italy has created. It goes hand in hand with our color and lightning system. So the technologies work in synergy together so that you're going to ensure, if you're using another bonding system with our color line or our lightning portfolio, we can't ensure that you're going to get the color results that you want, and we can't ensure that you're going to get the bonding protection that you want. So it really does matter, and especially in today's day and age with a lot of manufacturers, I know we have a lot of choices to choose from. And I'm the type of guy that I do like a lot of choices as a colorist, but I'm also a loyalist. And so when it comes to a product, I know that when I'm using Ego Bond with my Alter Ego color or lightener, the technologies work in synergy together and I'm protecting the hair. By far, this is one of the best bonding systems I've ever used, and I've used every single bonding system out there. But in addition to using it with Alter Ego color, it's very superior.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the times the other bonding systems as well, they'll have you bump your coactivator. So if you normally use a 30 volume, they'll tell you to go to a 40 volume. Ours does not. If you're going to use a 30 volume, use a 30 volume still, okay? Just make sure you follow those mixing instructions. And then that way you don't overuse the bond, because that's the only way that it would slow that down. And then, so here's your step one is your additive. And so this is the special Caravis complex penetrates the hair to restore vitality and strength, and mixed with the selective technical product to improve the resistance of the hair structure to breakage, restoring elasticity and vitality without interfering with the result of the selected technical service. And then you have your step two, and this is your fortifying cream. It's formulated to work in synergy with a Bond Booster 1. So to improve the overall level of hydration and the overall condition of the hair, an essential step to be carried out with all Ego Bond services and treatments. So again, if you use 1, you need to use 2, and then 3 seals it down. So this is your sealing treatment. It's developed to complete the Ego Bond treatment, excellent after technical services, as it nourishes and detangles the hair, leaving the hair feeling revitalized and healthy, formulated with memory polymers to guarantee a dynamic styling effect. Okay. So for total bleaching, so this is where in the kit, you'll get these mixing ratios. So for total bleaching, it's going to be a little bit different when you're using your cream bleach to when you're using your powder bleach. So if you're using 45 grams of Pure Light cream to double coactivator, 90 grams, you're going to use 7.5 of your Bond Booster 1. So you'll mix that together, you'll apply. When you're done, you'll rinse. And then it doesn't matter if you tone before or after step 2, that's totally up to you, just as long as step 2 is put onto the hair and it's towel dry or, shampooed, and then put the Bond Setter 2 on, and then towel dried from roots to ends, leave for 10 minutes. This is a 10-minute process. Then you'll rinse and you'll do your number 3 for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. And then when it comes to the partial bleaching, so again, your cream bleach is mixed up the same way as we just talked about, but your powder bleach is what's a little bit different. So instead of 45 grams of bleach, you're going to use 30 grams of powder bleach to 60 grams of coactivator, and then you're going to use the 7.5. So you'll mix, you'll apply, process, same steps as before, rinse off, shampoo. Step 2, rinse 10 minutes, process 10 minutes, rinse, and apply your number 3 for 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. And then oxidizing color, this is where 50 grams of color brings you down to 3.75 milliliters. Now, in your bonding system, it comes with a measurement, just so you guys know, you guys can see the measurement real quick. So this is your bond 1. You unscrew it. Your dispenser goes on top. And you'll see here, it has your measurements on it. So you'll just squeeze the bottle until you get to whether it's 7.5 or 3.75. Okay, so you'll add that to your color, mix, put through the hair. You don't need a shampoo, just rinse well. Then you'll put your Bond Setter 2 on from root to ends. Then you leave for 10 minutes. Then you can rinse and shampoo. And then you do your Bond Setter, your Bond Lock for 3 to 5 minutes. And then you'll rinse off and proceed to your styling. Now, this is, again, the standalone treatment. So this is what I was talking about. If I have a client that comes in, whether they have the chemically or, mechanically, or they just haven't had a haircut in years and they want a conditioning treatment, this is where you will mix 10 grams of your Bond Booster 1 to 15 grams of your Bond Setter 2. You'll mix these together. After the hair has been shampooed and towel dried, you'll put this from the mids to ends or wherever the hair needs it, whether it's all over. You'll comb through. Put 10 to 15 minutes. You can do them under heat, and then you'll rinse off, towel dry, and you'll apply your Bond Locker 3. That's going to stay on for 10 minutes. Then you're going to rinse well, blow dry, and you're done. Or style, and you're done. Okay. So this here is actually a little you get like a little instruction pamphlet that comes in the box. So this is on the back, so it's easy to have handy. So it just talks about your mixing and what you'll do. Now, the at-home care, if you have somebody that has really damaged hair, you'll want to work with the repair shampoo and conditioner. Okay, so again, you're sending them home with a repair treatment of what they need for their hair at home. If they don't need that treatment at home, then you could send them home with a color care. Whatever they work with when it comes, or whatever their hair needs, is what you can formulate for. Now, with that being said, in the Master Care line, just because you have, like I said before, the Hydrate Shampoo and Conditioner, they don't have to take home both the Hydrate Shampoo and Conditioner. They can take home the Color Care Shampoo and the Silver Maintain Conditioner. Like whichever you want to formulate for your clients, they work in synergy with each other for what the client's needs are. Okay?
Kelly, does that answer your question as far as the keeping up the treatment after service? So the one thing that we can share with you all is, with bonding systems, it's an insurance policy pretty much with color and or lightning. So, when you take a look at using a bonding system, not everyone needs a bonder. So if you have someone that has compromised hair, as Chrissy had said, that has been chemically or mechanically damaged, and you're not sure which way this is going to go, is when I would use my insurance policy, which is Ego Bond. So if you don't think the client needs it, don't use it in the product. So as far as an at-home service, I wouldn't say that detox care would be the go-to. I would probably say, if it's bonding and because you're trying to have an insurance policy of not creating more damage, I would do repair or hydrate. But repair would be the most reparative shampoo and conditioner that we have in Master Care. That, as I taught in the last Master Care class, I say, if you got that client that's like, oh, I need to get some repair in there, and they're right before that bonding system, or you've got them on a bonding system and you need to give them now something prescriptive to take home, repair is the best.
Yeah, and you could do, so for the BTOC is a hyaluronic acid. So I think, Kelly, when we talked before, I maybe even said that is something that you can send home with them if you guys have the BTOC. So again, depending on the client's hair, they do the treatment, they would go home with the BTOC system. Otherwise, you could send that home with them depending on what your client's needs. Yeah.
Okay. And as far as pricing goes, as an Ego Bond system, that's something that we would really recommend based on your area. It varies state to state, region to region. Coming from New York and California, bonding systems would range anywhere between $55 up to $75 a treatment. But then in the more rural areas, I've seen them go to $45. If you're going to go on a lower scale, with whatever region you're in, I have seen nothing less than $45 a treatment. And I've seen them as high as $85 a treatment. So it really depends on your area and what your pricing is. I would recommend, if you're using a bonding system, stay within maybe your pricings. Look at the pricing and the cost of the product that you're currently using and how much it costs to get into Ego Bond. Do your comparison and adjust your price accordingly. If you're not doing a bonding system, I would do some research and look at maybe your competitor salons around you that are charging the price. Maybe even if you can, find out what they're using and then do the price comparison so that it's lucrative for yourself as well, and you're not outpricing yourself, or and you're giving an added bonus service to your clients. Okay. All right. So any other questions about Ego Bond? No? We do have a question, Chrissy, about toning. Someone's been having some issues that they've been doing a highlight, low light, and then they do an all over toner. And then noticing that in the toning, the low light immensely tones, and is there a way to avoid that?
Okay. So you could do conditioner, do your color conditioner first. So actually you're sealing down the cuticle with the pH and the conditioner that is formulated for your color, then tone after you condition. See if that helps. Sometimes also if the hair is jeopardized. So if you have blonde hair and you do low lights and you find your low lights lose color fast as well, even without toning or even with the toning, you might want to fill the hair with like an Ego Bond treatment first, or even doing the white toner first, so that way, or even the Just Color Clear if you have that. So you're doing a filler with a product first, and then you're going to go through and do it. So I would try the conditioner first, the Color Care conditioner, and then put that on, let that sit for just a second, rinse, and then tone. It's not often I hear that shifts that low light color when it comes to a toner. So yeah, good, nice to hear that. Or not nice to hear, but nice to hear that you guys are giving that feedback.
Does anyone else have any other questions before we wrap up here? No? Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay.
We'll see you in our next class later this afternoon if you join us.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye, everyone.